All right, family. Black Power, you live with the general. We got five topic today. We're gonna be dealing with Boko Haram, one of the black terrorists in allegiance with ISIS, ISIL, Arab terrorist affiliation coming from over there out of Iraq and areas in the Middle East. But anyway, before we get started, make sure you click that link. Get over there to Patreon. The link is right there at the top of the chat. And this is the what we don't hear about, because a lot of these Negroes out here are too busy trying to disconnect from the motherland. But the Arab nigga right over here, the Arab over here doing the same thing, the niggas right here in the United States. Yes, they is. Yes, they is. Nobody want to talk about that imperialism. Okay, nobody want to talk about Arab imperialism because these niggas got a soft heart. All the nigga had to do is say assalamu alaikum, pull out a bean pie and light up an incense, and you niggas throw in the towel. That's what you don't want to talk about. Yeah, that's what you don't want to talk about. And they come over here and do you the same way that they been doing niggas over in Africa. They see you no different. They know who you is, nigga. They don't, you ain't, oh, I'm FBA. Nigga, get up out my stuff. Nigga, either you gonna get some liquor, some blunts, or get your ass up out my stuff. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And so you got these airbars niggas. That's what they is. That, you got certain segments of Islam in Africa that are moderate, African Islam, where, they can exist side by side with African Christians. They can even, they can even stand side by side with some traditional African spiritualists. You see, because that's really what Sufism is. Where you Muslim, or you're Muslim, but you still carry on some of the African traditions. And so this is totally unacceptable for these niggas. Now, this sick nigga behind us who is mentally ill, he's mentally ill. I didn't see him on videos. I in the future I'll bring him forward. Yeah, he they talk about jinn. That nigga's a jinn. You understand? I'm talking, you got different kinds of gins. You know what I'm saying? That nigga's a pure gin. When he talk, he's sick in the head and shit. He laughs, and just like an old gin. Yeah, that nigga is possessed. You know what I'm saying? The only thing, baptize him with one right between his damn eyes and get it over with. But anyway, what they and I'm gonna go into this area because we need to know, because it ain't just over there, it's over here too. They just sneakier over here. You see what I'm saying? They just buy they buy up all your stores and shit like that, and they operate in your hood, and you see them in your hood, but you don't see them in their hood where they doing they talking that talk. You see what I'm saying? We seen a video where some Arabs in Dearborn, Michigan, talking about, nigga, they operating under Sharia law, and they see where the United States gonna be under Sharia law. Yeah, so you see these motherfuckers that be low key operating up under your nose. You see what I'm saying? They operate up under your nose. Over in certain European countries over there, they done took certain whole areas of that shit over. They done took it over there. But Boko Haram, see, and these is the a lot of them is niggas. They niggas affiliates. This what they do. You see what I'm saying? Because really what you got, and they call it the Sahel. Now the Sahel is like a bridge. It's like I won't say it's a, it's like it could be called a bridge, or what is it's another term that I would like to use, but it's in between the Arab in the north, and then you got the African in, beneath, I say below the Sahara, or right on on the fringes of the Sahara. So the Sahel is like a boundary, between the Arabs of the north and the African below the Sahara. You see, and the Sahel is almost like a no man's land. It is. It ain't like there's no people, but you can go in there and hide. This is almost like the wild, wild west and shit, where you can go out in certain areas and shit and you can hide. But they're starting to get in there and really police that area a little more strategically than they normally would, because that's where they know that's where a lot of them go and hide. But what the Arabs is doing is that they are the ones that's funding a lot of these niggas, you see, to be the henchmen to go down and attack their own people. You see, which we don't even consider. They don't consider the traditional Africans to be they people. This is what we fail to understand. You can't say, oh, they attacking. No, these niggas don't see other Africans that not and it ain't any Islam. You can't just be a Muslim, nigga. And so it's this radical Islam, and it's called Salafism. Salafism. And what this Islam is about is that they saying that if you are not from the first Muhammad, and then I think it's 3 generations. The first Muslims, those that converted under Muhammad, and then his immediate successors, and then their successors. So I think the first 5 caliphs, which they call the righteous caliphs, you know what I'm saying? Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, or is it 4? It might be 4. The first 4 righteous caliphs, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali, his cousin. Well, not his nephew, his cousin. You see, and then the next generation, they won't, if it don't adhere to them first 3 generations, they consider it like some heretic, type of adages and things of that nature, and they don't accept that. You see, they don't accept that. So they really strict to the first 3 generations, which mean Arabism. Let's just be real. Arabism. Arabism. And then when you look at Islam, which nobody wants to acknowledge, is that they just merciless against their own people. And I'm talking about Muslims. You see, if I ask the AI how many caliphs have been assassinated, you wouldn't even believe it. The first, what we call the righteous caliphs, they assassinated all 4 of them. They assassinated Abu Bakr, they assassinated Umar, they assassinated Uthman, they assassinated Ali, all 4 of them. And these supposed to be the righteous caliphs, and they knocked and they was the ones responsible for knocking them off. You see, and I believe it was I think Muslims. And this was Muslims knocking off their own caliphs, beefing even then. So when you look at Islam, even from its root, you see, when you look at it, it's very violent. You see, it's very violent, even against its own. And so what they really trying to do is they trying to turn Africa into an Arabized continent, and not just an Arabized continent. They are on some very the term as I'm using. Let me get that together right there. Very strict form of Arabism. So if you ain't practicing Islam like an Arab, you was in trouble. You see, you was in trouble, and people got to understand. And I don't know why Africa just and because they have allowed Islam to spread into Africa. You understand at such an alarming rate. You see, they have let Islam spread, and now they realize that a lot of these niggas is in here are in allegiance. That's why a lot of people don't want to talk about, they get to talking about Gaddafi and all that, man. Get the hell out of here. Gaddafi was also goddamn patronizing a lot of these nigger groups that go down and commit genocide and try to take over more southern areas of Africa under terrorism. Even Gaddafi was patronizing and funding, a lot of these groups. Even what's going on in Sudan. Gaddafi is also a part of that. Before he died, Libya, he was funding a lot of what's going on because he wanted to take over the whole of Africa. You see, he wanted, and it's it's actually a video on up there with Dr. John Henry Clark talks about that. You see, he talks about what Gaddafi is trying to do and all these Arabs up in the north, what they trying to do. They want to take over the whole of the continent of Africa. You see, and so and it's no different than these Negroes over here who love Islam. They can't find nothing wrong with Islam. But these niggas right here, they kidnapped them 240 something Nigerian girls and took them off. And I don't even remember if they got them back. I know they got some of them back. Did they return them girls back to their families? That's a sick nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I do encourage anybody to go in there and get his ass. I wouldn't give a goddamn who it is. Niggas always see imperialism, but they don't see Arab imperialism killing Africa and black people all over the damn world. You file up an incense and get these niggas a damn bean pie, they'll look the other way. This is what they see Islam as being some righteous, and Islam been a damn destructive instrument of genocide on African people the very day it showed up in Africa. You see, and so I'm just touching base today on warming up, getting, because we're gonna touch down on this. We're gonna touch down, and really why I want it, because I see that it's firing up over there. Just today, the military, the Secretary of Defense was assassinated in Mali. They taking over Mali. It's a new resurgence of the jihadists in damn Mali, and they just destroyed the damn. Nobody even talking about that. You don't hear none of these Assalamu Fakum niggas say a damn thing about it. Where they tore down Mali, all the where they got the University of Saint Corey and all, and where you got the pyramid there, and then you got the mosque, and and it was over something like 80. It was over something like 60 to 80,000 students used to be in that mosque in the 1600s, and so because Mali has a tradition in Sufism. Sufism is, they Muslims, but they also keep a lot of they African traditions. They still wear their own colorful clothes. And one of them groups over there, what's that group over there? Very popular. They wear dreadlocks. They wear a lot of and they like to wear a lot of necklaces. They nice necklaces, and they also sell them online. But it's a group over there. Yeah. I forget the name of them Sufis. A lot of them over there in Senegal. Who look that up? Who know of that group? No, Mao is in Kenya. No, they are out of Senegal. I'll have it for you on the next. I'm gonna Be right black. Y'all get over there to Patreon with the general. We start, and I got a playlist on for y'all that want to get warmed up on this and get more into in depth and what they practicing and things of that nature. But we're about to tap black in. So stay with me, family. I have it on the next video. See you in a second. Black power. No, the Dogon are not Muslims. They got their own traditions. I'll get it for you. Black power.